Why do some people fall in love with the same gender? Is it biology? Is it environment? Is it choice? Or is it something far more complex than we've been told? For centuries, same-gender attraction has been misunderstood, hidden, punished, romanticized, politicized, and debated. But psychology doesn't deal in rumors or moral panic. It studies patterns. It studies development. It studies the human mind. And what modern psychology tells us might surprise you. Today, we are going to explore the science behind same-gender attraction, what research says about biology and the brain, the role of childhood and environment, identity development, mental health myths, and why love between two people of the same gender is not a psychological disorder. This is not a political discussion. This is not a moral debate. This is psychology. Let's begin. To understand the psychology of same-gender attraction, we must begin with history. In the late 19th and early 20th century, early psychologists and psychiatrists categorized same-gender attraction as a mental illness. It appeared in diagnostic manuals and was labeled a disorder. But here's what's important. That classification was based more on cultural bias than scientific evidence. By the mid-20th century, researchers began noticing something critical. Same-gender attracted individuals did not show inherent psychological impairment. In 1973, the American Psychiatric Association removed homosexuality from the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. That decision wasn't political. It was evidence-based. Study after study showed there was no intrinsic pathology.
No consistent psychological dysfunction.
No personality disorder pattern. The shift marked one of the most important corrections in modern psychology. Science evolved, and so did understanding. Now we ask the question most people are curious about. Is it biological? Research suggests that sexual orientation likely emerges from a complex interaction of biological factors. Studies involving twins show that identical twins are more likely to share the same sexual orientation than fraternal twins. This suggests a genetic component, but not a single gay gene. Instead, it appears to be polygenic, meaning multiple genes may contribute small influences. Brain imaging studies have also found subtle structural and functional differences in some individuals based on orientation. Hormonal exposure in the womb may play a role as well. For example, variations in prenatal hormone levels may influence brain development in ways that shape later attraction patterns. However, it's important to understand, biology is not destiny, and it is not simple. Human sexuality is multidimensional. Psychology today sees orientation as emerging naturally during development, not as something consciously chosen later in life. One of the most common questions is, do people choose to love the same gender? Psychologically speaking, attraction itself is not typically experienced as a conscious decision. Most heterosexual individuals do not remember choosing to feel attraction to the opposite gender. Similarly, individuals attracted to the same gender often describe recognizing these feelings early in life, sometimes before fully understanding them. Research consistently shows attempts to forcibly change sexual orientation through so-called conversion therapies have been ineffective and often harmful. Major psychological associations worldwide warn against such practices. Why? Because orientation appears to be a stable trait for most people. Attraction is felt, not selected. Identity, however, is how someone understands and expresses those feelings socially. That distinction is important. Attraction and identity are not the same thing. Sexual orientation refers to patterns of attraction. Sexual identity refers to how someone labels or understands themselves. Psychologists describe identity development in stages: awareness of difference, internal questioning, exploration, acceptance, integration. For many, this journey includes confusion, fear, relief, and ultimately clarity. Social environment plays a major role here. In accepting cultures, individuals often integrate identity with less distress. In hostile environments, concealment and stress increase. This brings us to an important psychological concept: minority stress theory. Minority stress theory proposes that people belonging to stigmatized groups experience additional chronic stress due to prejudice, discrimination, and social rejection. Research shows that higher rates of anxiety or depression among some same-gender attracted individuals are not caused by orientation itself. They are linked to social rejection, bullying, family conflict, fear of discrimination. When social acceptance increases, mental health disparities decrease. In supportive environments, psychological well-being is comparable to the general population. This distinction is critical. Orientation is not pathology. Stigma is harmful. Same-gender relationships are not modern inventions. Historical records across ancient Greece, Rome, parts of Asia, Africa, and indigenous cultures document same-gender bonds. Art, poetry, and literature have long depicted such relationships. Cultural attitudes varied dramatically across time. Some societies accepted them, others condemned them. This reminds us, sexual orientation is a human phenomenon. Cultural reaction is what changes. Attraction itself is complex. Psychology identifies multiple components: emotional intimacy, physical attraction, shared values, personality compatibility, attachment patterns. These mechanisms operate regardless of gender combination. When two people of the same gender fall in love, the psychological processes, bonding, attachment hormones like oxytocin, emotional attunement, function the same way as in heterosexual couples. Love activates similar brain regions across orientations. From a neurochemical perspective, love is love. The brain does not categorize it morally. It responds biologically. This underscores a key insight. Sexual orientation is a variation within the spectrum of human attachment. Let's address common myths. Myth 1. It's caused by trauma. Research does not support trauma as a universal cause. Myth 2. It's a modern trend. Historical evidence contradicts this. Myth 3. It can be cured. Major psychological bodies reject this claim. Myth 4. It prevents stable relationships. Studies show same-gender couples form long-term, committed partnerships comparable in stability when given equal social support. Misinformation often stems from fear, not data. Psychology prioritizes evidence over ideology. Neuroscience shows that romantic love activates reward systems in the brain. Dopamine pathways, oxytocin release, serotonin shifts. Studies indicate similar activation patterns in same-gender and opposite-gender couples. From a neurochemical perspective, love is love. The brain does not categorize it morally. It responds biologically. This underscores a key insight. Sexual orientation is a variation within the spectrum of human attachment. Ultimately, the psychology of same-gender attraction reveals something broader about human nature. Humans are diverse. Orientation is one dimension among many. Personality, culture, values, temperament, attachment style. Modern psychology recognizes sexual orientation as a natural variation in human experience. Not a disorder, not a defect, not a rebellion, not a trend, but part of the complexity of human identity. Understanding this doesn't require agreement. It requires awareness. And psychology's role is to illuminate, not judge. The psychology of same-gender attraction is not a mystery rooted in pathology. It is a story of biology, development, identity, culture, and human emotion. Science continues to evolve. But what is clear today is this: love, in its many forms, follows psychological principles that transcend gender. If this video helped expand your understanding, subscribe for more deep dives into the psychology of human behavior. Because when we understand the mind, we understand each other better.